rail strike is one of the most disruptive and expensive things that can happen to an economy.
A rail shutdown or strike would disrupt supply chains.
A strike means food prices could skyrocket.
Many experts are saying would be an economic catastrophe.
That could mean a big shortage and massive price hikes. Even gas prices could increase.
And it also could cost the economy $1 billion within the first week.
That would cripple the economy.
I'm not setting aside the concerns of your members, but are you and your members willing to stop the rails in effect and accept those costs to the U.S. economy?
Do you believe a strike is worth it if it cripples the U.S. economy and costs up to $2 billion a day?
More than $2 billion per day.
Is it worth it?
And on top of all of that, the holidays are right around the corner.
It's a little less than a month right before Christmas here.
Especially right before the holidays.
President Biden warning if that happened, it would devastate the economy if we had a strike like that. So joining me now to talk about this and a lot more is Bank of America. It's Brian Moynihan, chairman and CEO, one of the biggest banks in the world.
What is devastating, Ben, to me, is making these workers grovel for sick time.
Yeah, most definitely. Because especially, I mean, there's two big layers that I want to touch on this. First and foremost, if rail workers are that important to our economy and the rail system is that important to our economy, why is it privatized? Well, there's a history lesson in that. The reason it's privatized is because the United States government thought the easiest way to quite literally commit genocide against indigenous people is by giving away a bunch of free land to wealthy millionaires at the time. That fundamentally is why the railroad is privatized. Right? And so the other layer to this fundamentally is what is Joe Biden doing to these workers? Because passing an act of Congress to prevent a strike, quite literally, that is putting a gun to the heads of those workers, telling them to get back to work. Because who is gonna show up if those rail workers decide to go on a wildcat strike? What is gonna happen? The police are gonna respond. That's the whole point of them passing congressional legislation in order to prevent people from going on strike, is that so that they can say to these workers that we will use militarized violence against you to stop you from getting decent wages and having a fair workplace. That is what Joe Biden is doing. And you don't get to do that and claim to be pro-worker or pro-union or anything like that. And if the Democrats keep acting like this, wildcat strikes are gonna start becoming a lot more common across the country.
That's it. And the burden, again, should not be placed on the workers. This is gonna be disruptive. Are you and your members willing to? No, the question is not whether or not the members of the rail workers, the union that is standing up on behalf of their members, are willing to disrupt the economy. The question is, are the the owners of these rail companies, willing to disrupt the economy? It is curious. It is like beyond pale to me that they are putting this burden on the workers who are only asking for what they deserve. The owner-donors again, winning. And let's look at what Professor Harvey K had to say. Yeah, this is thunder, lightning, and rain right here. He said, I know they are quite different. So for all the people out there, won't be any of our members who say, oh my God, it's so unfair to compare President Joe Biden to President Ronald Reagan. But baby, on this one, there are a whole bunch of similarities. So Professor Harvey K said, I know they're quite different still. 1981, former Union President Ronald Reagan versus air traffic controllers. And in 2022, pro-union Joe Biden versus railway workers. How about that? The hypocrisy is thick as hell. And I do want you to remember, again, just in case you forgot, I said I was gonna bring this up again, that sick leave, paid sick leave was in Build Back Better bill. But the moderates passed the infrastructure bill first. You may remember that. Right? And then progressives lost all leverage. So they passed the infrastructure bill before the Build Back Better bill, and nobody played hardball. America, this is wrong. We must stand in solidarity with the rail workers. I want you to underline that. I want you to bold it. I want you to put an exclamation point, put a message in the bottle and send it on the train. Stand side by side with these workers. What is happening in that Congress is wrong, and it's gonna come back to bite. It's gonna come back to hurt, because now that Congress will lose all moral high ground when they going up against the Bezos and the Elon Musk of the world. They lose it because they are preventing these workers from striking for what they deserve. And if it's happening to them, it will happen to all other workers too, because what's happening to them, it puts all workers in this country in peril, that Congress can just go ahead and side with their owner donors. They are being very honest about who they are and whose side they are on. There is no middle ground here. Either you are on the side of the workers or you are not. Either you are standing with the people or you are not. Either you believe that the workers, those rail workers and the workers of the United States of America deserve paid sick time, or you do not. It is as simple as that. I'm about to get up out this chair, just run around the room and just throw there they go. Paper's gone everywhere. We sick and tired of the foolishness that's going on in this country. We really are. Ben, we sick of it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And it's like this, like how they just feel perfectly comfortable beating down workers. Like it's not it. I mean, they're literally talking about passing. I mean, these are Democrats. Democrats have the House right now until January. They could have, I know this is a bold idea. They could have forced the railroad company to accept the compromise deal that these unions offered up, right? They could have forced, they could have said, railroad company, you have to make sacrifices. But who has to make these sacrifices? Is it ever the millionaires or the billionaires? No. The people that have to make sacrifices are the people that are already sacrificing time with their families while they're out working on these trains for long hours so that we can get what? Right? Like, let's be real. So we can get our Christmas presents on time. Like, as important as that is, what's more important? That these rail workers have time with their family, that they have time to take off for sick leave. That's a heck of a lot more of a Christmas present to me, is if these workers actually get the ability to live a decent life.
That's it, man. I mean, people need to be outraged, and everybody's hair should be on fire. I had a boss who used to say, if your hair is on fire, act like your hair is on fire. Well, doggone it, our hair should be on fire